In this video, we're going to talk about workflows, which are incredibly powerful. Workflows is basically like hiring another staff member who never calls in sick and never takes off work. Workflows give you the ability to say, when this happens, we want to take these steps. So for example, whenever you tag somebody as a first-time guest, all these steps can happen. You create a workflow, you set the steps, then faith teams make sure all those things get done at exactly the right time, all on autopilot. Let's jump into workflows. Okay, so from the tools menu, select workflows, and you'll see in this demo account, we already have some workflows created. We have one for first-time guests and one for our membership class. If you want to create a new workflow, just click the blue plus symbol and give it a name. To open up an existing workflow, just click on the title. Let's open up our workflow for first-time guests, and you'll see there's three big sections. There's the trigger section, the steps section, and then on the right side of the screen is going to be a list of all the people who are currently in this workflow. And this little toggle switch is where you can set this workflow to either active or inactive. Okay, let's look at the triggers section. And this is where you can add up to 3 triggers, which will automatically add people to this workflow. Now, this is our first-time guest workflow. So whenever we tag a person as guest, they are automatically going to be added to this workflow. To add a new trigger, click the blue plus symbol and select what kind of trigger you want to use. You can select from your tags, you can add somebody on their birthday, you can even use your custom fields. You can also just manually add somebody to this workflow. Just click the little people icon, search for the person, and add them to the workflow. Next, let's look at the steps section. And this is where you're going to set up the step-by-step process that you want to have in this workflow. So you can see here, we have a text message that goes out immediately, then we wait 1 day, then we create an assignment for somebody on our team to please follow up with this guest. Then we wait 2 days. Then we send an email. Then we wait 2 more days and we send another text. And you can see how you can just build this out step by step by step. And the entire thing is on autopilot. Once we tag this person as a guest, faith teams make sure all these things are done. To add a new step to this workflow, first you'll need to toggle the toggle switch to make this workflow inactive while you're making changes. Click the blue plus symbol and choose what kind of step you want to add. You can send text messages, you can send an email, you can create an assignment for a person on your team, you can add a wait time between steps, you can remove a tag from this person, you can exit this workflow, you can exit another workflow, or you can exit all other workflows. Now you might be asking, why would I want to add a step to remove a person from a different workflow? Well, let me show you an example of this and how powerful it can be in helping you to keep your list clean and making sure the right people are getting the right messages at the right time. So this is our workflow for first-time guests. Imagine you have a first-time guest come to your church, you add them to this workflow, but then they come back for a second time. Now you want to start sending them different messages, and you don't want to keep sending them messages as if they were a first-time guest. So how do we set that up? Let's go back to our list of workflows and let's create a new one, and let's call this one second-time guest. So I'm going to add the trigger that when a tag is added to this person, I'm going to select the tag second-time guest. And so now every time I tag somebody as a second-time guest, they're going to enter this workflow. So the next thing I want to do is create the steps. And in this example, the first step I want to create is exit another workflow. And the workflow I want them to exit is the first-time guest workflow. And now every time somebody is tagged as second-time guests, they're not only getting this series of steps, but they're also removed from our first-time guest follow-up plan. Okay, so there's a lot more we could go into, but that gives you the general idea of how workflows work and how powerful they are. You can create step-by-step automated follow-ups, and faith teams will do all the heavy lifting for you and make sure nobody slips through the cracks. Okay, if you've got any questions about this or anything else, let us know. We're always happy to help, and we'll see you in the next video.